Gary Pearson then on the start line, restarting today with co-driver Hannah McKillop alongside. Bit of work to do for the M Sport team overnight, but they've done it. My name is Peter Mackay. I'll be taking you through the action over the next hour, but joining me in the commentary box is not just rallying expert, but Rally Ceredigion expert, Tom Cave. Tom, good morning. Bore da.
Good morning, everybody. Bore da. Into Mynydd Bach, as we all know at this stage, it's got many characteristics to it. The drivers will have some knowledge from doing it the opposite direction last year, but it doesn't really work into your favour. It's brand new notes, a lot of surface changes. And as Marianne pointed out, it's the last couple of Ks are very bumpy and narrow, so we just see how the guys get on this morning.
Max McRae already well into the stage. This is a stage which you'll have great memories from last year, winning the junior ERC category last year. I remember him coming to the stop. Oh, very wide there. That was a close one.
Yeah, I was about to say it looked like he locked up under brake in there, and yeah, we just caught the sort of the end of the small moment, shall we say. I think he just touched the bank, but yeah, I think he's got away with that one.
And conditions looking pretty dry.
Looking dry for the moment, Pete. Yeah, there was a bit of rain forecast in the area, but yeah, it's quite windy, as you mentioned, up on the hillside here above Camberhangle. So I think the road will dry quite quick, even if it does rain as well. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern for the crews at the moment. Can be fair on the pace notes. A difficult day yesterday. Here we go. Here's a replay. Oh, yeah, he's okay. Yeah, just a little bit of a just lost the rear. Nothing to write home about.
Flat left opens and crest 100. Line flat maybe 5 left minus short camber 150. 6 right half long tightens max 5 into brown. Clear smooth now 30. 5 left minus tightens 4 minus. Braking left over 50 bus up chicane left entry. Into flat right over 50. Into 5 left minus half long braking 30. Turn 2 left round Bale. Shiny now. Flat left, braking into brown to sharp 3 right plus. And flat left open through
down to a narrow section, narrow stage, different profile again. Surface has changed somewhat, a bit smoother. You can see from the camera there's a bit more of a shine on the surface, so it's something that Max needs to take on board, process into his driving input.
Max looking very relaxed behind the wheel at the moment. He had a tricky day yesterday, unfortunately. Had an off into a ditch on Diablo on the first pass, and then hit a bank on the second pass. It was a stage which caught so many drivers out, and all part of the learning experience for Max. He's only 21. First full season in a Rally 2 car. As I mentioned, 2 wins in the junior ERC category last year in Hungary and here in Ceredigion. But stepping up to the C3 Rally 2. Proven package on tarmac, it must be said.
Yeah, you're right there, Pete. It's very competitive in the national championships in Europe. It's the car of choice, I think most drivers would agree, for tarmac. But with Gary, and McKillop on the notes.
Good first split for Gary, 6 seconds up on Max McRae. It was actually the other way round on the previous stage on Nantes-Moch.
Heading down to Max's corner here, I think this is where he ran wide. Just seeing the marks there, yeah. All okay for Gary through there.
Not a great deal of rest for the co-drivers here. I mean, this stage relatively more compact. I mean, at Diablo yesterday, 33 kilometres, nearly 60 pages of pace notes, but still busy for them.
Very busy, Pete, yeah. Like I said, it's two pages a kilometre almost. There's a lot of reading to be had, and also a lot of preparation before they get to the stages for the co-drivers. Depends on how much changes they made on the recce, but normally they tend to rewrite quite a lot of the pages, so a lot of preparation has gone into this weekend for them all.
If you ever want anything organised, ask a co-driver. They're the world's best organisers.
Certainly Carolina as well, who co-drives for Martin Vlachek. She's got one more job to contend with this weekend, with Morley asking her for questions at the stage end, but she seems to handle it quite well. By the end of yesterday, she was smiling, which was nice to see.
At the end of this stage, we'll have Matt Cotton, who's making his debut on our team this weekend. A name very familiar to British rally fans.
Just heading towards the finish here now, down the hill. Big commitment, lots of unseen press. There's one here. Well held. That was one. It was. Yeah, it's a very tricky stage. You've got to keep the car in the middle of the road. You can see the grass growing in the middle section of the road. You cannot put the wheel on that, or vice versa. You can't put the wheel on the outside. It requires precision.
There are the yellow boards then, nearly at the end of the stage for Max McRae. A wild ride through Miniv back, which means Little Mountain, I'm reliably informed, in Welsh. We've all been practicing our Welsh pronunciations throughout the week. Great to see international rallying here in the United Kingdom. Returned with this event last year after a long, long wait. Would have been Rally GB 2019.
Oh, no, I don't think we need reminding, Pete, do we, as us rally fans and myself as a driver from the UK. It's yeah,
it's brilliant to have. Rally Ceredigion organisers have done a superb job, as always. A great event. Mark it on your calendar if you've not been before. As Callum Devine, double Irish tarmac champion, goes off into the stage. Brilliant stage time in Nantimach earlier on.
Yeah, he was showing good pace yesterday until he had, unfortunately, a fire under the bonnet caused by a fueling issue. So, but great to see him back out today. And like you said, showing good pace.
Gary Pearson looking really strong on the splits. 12.3 up on Max McRae at 10 kilometres.
Max, you are our tour guide for that stage. Talk us through what conditions are like in there.
Yeah, it's okay. It's obviously it's quite clean for me, but there's a couple of slippy bits under the tree. But I just have no. If when I turn in, it's going to stay on the road. So we had quite a big moment on the fast road. I just turn in, and I have nothing on the front end. No confidence at all.
Give us an insight, Tom, when a driver's talking about when they're feeling no front end, they've not got the confidence. Give us an idea of what that's like and what Max is contending with there.
Yeah, he's obviously struggling with a bit of understeer. The car's not turning in as he hoped, so yeah, it could be many variations, to be honest, but I think from Max's perspective, he's just going to have to just go with the flow and not try and fight it, because if you do fight it, that's when, unfortunately, mistakes will happen. So.
And the time shows it. Gary Pearson looking strong at the final split, 16.6 up after 14.6 kilometres.
Gary's had his Weetabix this morning, isn't he? He's on it.
You bet he has, and great to see, because yesterday it was a pretty quick one. The rear of the car snapped away from him, crashed into a gate post. Quite a lot of damage to the car, and he's back on it today.
I think he would feel at home on these stages, Gary, because they're very similar to the ones you have up, say, on the Jim Clark Rally. People who know the British Championship, Abbey St Bathans, it's very similar to that, the last 2-3 kilometres of this stage.
Anna's smiling anyway.
Yeah, it looked like a good run, that, from Gary.
How important is it to get back out the very next day if you've had to retire because of an incident? How important is it to get back in the car as early as possible? It's
vital, really. It's good to put it behind you, get the feeling back in the car with you and your co-driver, especially after having quite a big off yesterday with what they had. It's it's key, to be honest. So otherwise it could be a very long gap until you do this again. But yeah, it's good to see Gary having a good run. He's not had a straightforward event, and even last year he struggled as well in places. So
I think how many rallies we've compared it to. We've talked about Barham, we've talked about the Manx, we've talked about the Jim Clark now.
Yeah.
What else did we add in there? We had some great likenesses. There's a rally in Poland, which apparently the third stage of the loop yesterday was like.
It'd be good if Matt could see if Gary agrees if it's similar to Abbey St. Bathans towards the finish, but let's hear from him.
Oh no, Callum Devine. Now this, Callum had an engine fire yesterday, not again.
Not what you want to see, not for the second time.
They're both out the car.
Let's hope everything's okay. It looks like it's under control.
Quite enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Obviously this morning we just wanted to get that first stage out of the way, but yeah, we tried in places, but it's a nice stage, and obviously we put in quite a lot of work to that on the lead up to the event there on the recce, but it's been a difficult weekend, and hopefully we can try and get something from it.
Well, fastest through so far at the moment, Gary. That's a good reward, I would say, so far. Oh, you've got a feel for Callum Devine. I mean, how a year can change. Callum has been walking on water all year in Ireland, winning every event virtually, and when others have had problems, he hasn't. And then this weekend has just been a horror show, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately it happens in the world of rallying. Sometimes you have the rally gods with you, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and this weekend, unfortunately, it's not gone with Callum's.
Marion Evans, local boy in the Melbourne Evans Motorsport Tour de GR Yaris. Second year with this car after several years in the venerable VW Polos. Had probably the biggest accident you'll ever see that you'll see a car drive away from.
Yeah, I think you're fair to say that is right. Yeah, Pete, we all saw it. It definitely shook him up, but great to see him back out today, and let's see if he can put some good stage times in. He'll have some knowledge of these roads as well from last year. This section's really quite slippy under the trees. It's quite hard to see, but there's like a layer of mossy, sort of greasy layer on top of the surface, which makes it very challenging for the drivers. How much do you trust the braking? How much do you trust it to turn in? Down to the hairpin right. Get it rotated.
Lots of fans there.
Yeah,
great place to watch.
Great to see. And then a big climb up the hill now. It's important to carry speed out this left-hander here. Big pull up the hill.
It is incredible how these Rally 2 cars, how quickly they can change direction, but it's the punch out the slow corners, the way the diff works, the chassis, the tyre, and how it just catapults up the hill.
Exactly. Get it hooked up and go. Pull the gears. Furnace on the notes. It's important to use every bit of road as much as you can here. Racing line technique.
A few spots of rain on the windscreen, but probably not enough to really worry about, I guess, Tom.
Not at the moment, Pete. No, I think it's just, I think as I would word it, drizzle in terms of what we can see on the windscreen. Down heading towards where Max had a small moment. There's all okay.
Yeah, perfect example, that corner. If you've not got the front end feel, it's not going to bite. It's not
everything's going away from you. Gravity's going away. You're trying to go left. The road's trying to push you out to the right. So it's key to get the car slowed early. Almost compromise your entry speed to get the exit speed.
Eamon Boland in the Masters category, 2008 Irish tarmac champion here in the ERC for the second time this year. He had a podium in the Masters category in Rome. Back again, battling with Martin Vilcek for that category, with MJ alongside reading the pace notes, reigning Masters World Rally Champion co-driver, and they've been smiling all weekend.
Yeah, they have indeed.
And when others have made mistakes, they haven't.
They haven't, yeah. That's the way Eamon rolls these days. He keeps it middle of the road. The main thing is they're both having fun.
How can you not in a Fiesta Rally 2
exactly,
on roads like that?
Yeah, it's what a great way to spend your Sunday. So this section here was used in the past in reverse. I've done this bit of road, but in the opposite direction. It flows a little bit better. Now you head down this narrow section here, which the last 2-3 kilometres, it's really tricky, fast, lots of blind corners, a few compressions as well. Very testing for both driver and the car. If the rain does come, this section here, I think will get very dirty later on.
second pass could be very interesting and very much dependent on whether we get rain this afternoon. I mean, this morning in service, it was so exciting. A 15-minute service where the decision had to be made. What tyres do you take? Is it going to rain? Is it not? And there's been a real mixture of choices.
Yeah, I do miss that buzz when you're in the service and someone's got to make that decision, and normally it ends up on your shoulders as the driver, but you're obviously working off key people who are around you. Obviously Pirelli and the other manufacturers tyre manufacturers would offer suggestion of what they think's the right choice, but ultimately it comes down to you to make the decision.
It's definitely a compromise. The dry road in Nantemach on the first pass, drivers who had the softer compounds were finding the car really getting loose and squidgy, if you like, on that last part.
Squidgy, that's a good one, yeah. Oh, yeah. See how easy it is if you just get that rear right wheel or the rear right side of the car off the line. At the moment it is dry, the grass is relatively dry. You can imagine what it's like when it gets wet, so. Yeah, nice clean run. Just locked up the front on entry. Braking with lock-on doesn't normally end well, but he got away with it.
He's styled it out well. He's got some style, David.
He's got
a wee tweak in the handbrake, got it going, love it. So Martin Vilcek then, the leader in the Masters category this weekend. He had a win in that category in Barham at his home event. Now he's in a slightly unique position actually, because his teammate Dariusz Brzezinski is the leader in the Masters category, but isn't here this weekend. He's 13 points behind him. If he can get a win in category today, he'll vault himself into the lead of the championship. The slight unusual part of it, though, is that Martin is the owner of the Kovacs team, so effectively Dariusz is his customer. So I don't know how that dynamic works out, but nevertheless,
conversation to be had after the rally, I think, of how it's going to work. But heading into the last round,
let's catch up with Eamon Boland.
Eamon, you were telling us yesterday you that long stage at 33 kilometres. That was a bit shorter for you at just 15. You must prefer that one?
Oh yeah, no, that stage was perfect. It was bone dry, and that was a nice stage.
Bone dry, that's exactly how he described Nantemach, the previous stage. So has John Armstrong, our rally leader, has he pulled a blinder by being the only driver taking the risk to not take any wets on this?
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's at the moment working into his favour, but we've got another 15 minutes or so until John's into the stage, so it's too early to call it just yet. But just looking at Marion, the attitude of the car, it still looks a little bit nervous to me, a little bit darty in places, in terms of the car's just not pulling it straight. You know, you're fighting with the wheel.
Fastest through so far, though, for Marion Evans, 6.1 seconds to the good.
There we are, I think, commenting about the characteristics of the car there, Marion was.
Yeah.
But neat and tidy around the hairpin. That car's got plenty of punch for the 3-cylinder Toyota unit. It's amazing how much torque they can get out of those engines.
One of our Rally TV team, Ivan Brynildsen, he's been driving one in the Norwegian Championship, leading the Norwegian Championship at the moment, and of course won ERC Rally Scandinavia, and he was saying it took him a while to get used to the noise of the engine, and he says it just sounds the same all the time, but he says it's very, very effective. He loves the car, he really, really loves it. Haven't had a tarmac win in ERC yet though, so they're still seeking that.
Still obviously a bit of work to do there then, but the Toyota engineers will be studying this with interest, especially with what Ford's done this weekend. Let's hear from Marion, see if he's a bit happier than he was yesterday.
Byron, I think there was a few comments from you over the finish line just about the handling of the Yaris. You haven't quite got it hooked up at home yet, have you?
Well, to be fair, we're on a compromise all the time. It's not really what I like it. The car works, but Williams proving that. It's yeah, just we're not really in a big race, but yeah, it felt okay in there, to be fair. It's just we expected some rain and it didn't show up, which I suppose was nice, but it would have been nice if we could have put a racy setup in it for the dry, but that's the way it is. It's just there was a Marshall slowed us down a good bit there for a while. You know, Callum was pulled in. The Marshall, like half a K before, was waving like somebody was across the road, so we slowed down a bit too much, but yeah.
interesting one there. Yeah, he's referring to Callum Devine there. We've got two Callums, we've got Callum Black and Callum Devine.
Exactly, yeah.
So Callum Devine pulled over with what appears to be the same issue, some sort of engine fire.
Yeah, I think in the defence of the marshal, I see Callum's car's parked on an exit junction there, so they're doing the right thing. But yeah, as a driver, it's frustrating. I've been there. You back off too much. It's the way it is. There's not a lot you can do about it.
Safety first, always.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's such safety in rallying is such a unique thing, because, you know, in a racing circuit it's a lap of a couple of miles and they come back round and you can have cameras on every corner, whereas it's a big geographical area. It always amazes me the job that the team in rally control do to manage such a wide geographical area and look after so many people. It's a remarkable feat of logistics and organisation.
It is, especially with sparsely Wales is. There's been a lot of effort gone in by everybody over the last few months to make this rally happen.
Phone signal at a premium, you could say, in certain parts.
Never been its strong point in Wales.
You guys get these views though at roads like this.
Yeah, looking out to the left of the shot here, you've got spectacular views over Cardigan Bay, but all eyes are on Martin.
Just 2 stages in this loop. They'll be heading back to Aberystwyth for service after this one, and can then choose different tyres and look at the weather again, so they can roll the dice once more.
There'll be a lot of looking up into the sky for the service area in a bit to see what the weather's going to do. Is it going to rain? Is it not? We don't know yet. I think we were in this position last year when we were on the last day. It was touch and go whether it was going to rain, and it did. But it all makes it all exciting to watch everybody.
Yeah, exciting for us, nerve-wracking for the crews. Pretty much. Another stage win in ERC Masters for Martin Vilcek, then 10 seconds up on Eamon Boland, so he's in a great position to score a category win in the overall top 10 as well for Martin. Now, Andrea Mabellini. What a weekend it's been for him in good and bad ways. Started off in the worst way with a 2-minute penalty for the team. 2 team members were caught on the power stage recceing out with of the scheduled recce time, which is against the rules, and a 2-minute penalty was handed out on Thursday evening before the rally. But Andrea has shown a maturity well beyond his years to just get his head down, scored 3 stage wins yesterday. He's climbed from 26th to 6th yesterday.
That's impressive, Pete.
Very impressive.
Yeah, to be dealt that card before the start of the rally, it's a tough one. But it's happened. He's accepted it.
Martin Vilcek pulls into stop control. We're going to get a word with Carolina, the co-driver. Very generous to speak to us all weekend.
Carolina, good morning. That is the dress rehearsal for the power stage. How did you find it?
Good morning. I didn't hear anything, so I will answer for something. So we really enjoyed this beautiful stage. It's really nice. We are a car working well, and we are really happy with the setup of the car.
Well, that's good to hear. The car's working well for Martin. There's Callum Black heading down towards the finish.
I've been really impressed by Callum. I mean, knew his national credentials, reigning UK Ashbolt champion, but ERC is another level. But he's come in with a perfect strategy. Just don't make mistakes, let the others make the mistakes.
That's a good time as well by Callum. Hopefully they got that car sorted. We all know he's struggling a bit yesterday with the diffs, and it was going into front-wheel drive, so... Just trying to hear what they're saying. I can't quite see and catch it. But yeah, it'd be good to see what his thoughts were on that. I think he'd be happy.
I think we're in agreement. The car looks superb with that black and gold.
I'm glad you agree. I know you're a Castrol man, but...
he had gold wheels on.
He did, yeah. I noticed that this morning, actually, yeah. A little bit of oversteer on the exit, but fans love it. Not the quickest way, but...
Oshan Price, double winner of this event. One of only 2 men in history to win it. It's Oshan Price and Aidan Padden. And he said at the end of Nantamoth, the previous stage, it can rain all at once, bring on the rain.
Wow, that's a statement, isn't it? Yeah.
He's not got it though, by the looks of things, unfortunately.
He's just not been at one with the car this weekend. He's just listening down here to this tricky left-hander.
Callum, just 7.4 seconds down on fastest time in there. Did it feel like a good run?
Very average, to be honest, but pretty average like the rest of my weekend. So, no, we're just being sensible, using our heads and enjoying it.
You've always got a smile on your face this weekend, Callum.
How can you not when you drive one of these? Just lucky, very lucky.
Exactly, yeah.
Couldn't agree more with that. So many drivers would love to be in that seat, in that kind of car.
It's some buzz, P, I tell you. When you're in that rhythm, in that zone, in these cars, I don't know what else beats it, to be honest. So
I had the great fortune to sit with Dominic Strateski, Barham Rally winner, on one of the Barham Rally stages a few weeks ago, and yeah, my already towering respect for you guys went even further again. It's just remarkable. Not only Dominic's ability, but the ability of these Rally 2 machines as well. Andrea Mavellini, fastest on the splits at the moment, who doesn't necessarily have position to fight for, because Ocean Price is quite far ahead of him, but so he's just got to get to the end of the day, and yet the time is coming.
Yeah, he's got to keep pushing though, Pete. You know, there's still 2 stages to go. He won't be hoping for misfortunes of others, but he's pushing hard down there. Yeah, he got away with that one, but yeah, he's just doing his thing. He can't do anything else.
So impressed with how he's handled this weekend mentally. His head could have gone completely after that penalty.
Yeah, I'm sure it did at some point, Pete, but he would have had time just to reset himself. Virgin to say, right, come on, we got nothing to lose here, really. We're just going to have to go for it. So that's a great time.
Yeah, fastest through by 6.5 seconds. They are a great. It's good you mentioned Virgie, because they are such a strong pairing combination. You know, they spend every day with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
and in the car, Virgie knows just the time to rein Andrea in and to build him up as well. Will Crichton closed the gap down a little bit in the previous stage. He's chasing down Miko Marchik on the podium and leading the British Championship as well. We're back with Ocean.
See, he's just not trusting the front of that car when you want us to get it turned in, feed the power in, open the lock and go. He just can't quite do it. It's a frustrating position to be in as a driver. But he's got a lot of experience on Shan. He'll know not to push the limits beyond what he's comfortable with.
Mavellini pulls into the stop line. Big day for him, and not only in this season, but in his entire career, to get as many points as possible. Let's see what he thought of that run.
Andrea, 6.5 seconds faster than anybody else. Just tell us how much of that is a dress rehearsal for the power stage later, and how much of it is your normal pace?
I try to be focused on what we are doing to carry the good speed into this corner, because it's so narrow. And yeah, the most difficult part of the stage was the beginning, where we wait a lot, and so starting with cold tires is not so easy. But yeah, for the moment it's all okay. The morning loop is done. Now the main problem will be the weather. That's it.
That was an excellent question from Matt Cotton. Is it do you do a dress rehearsal for the power stage? Is that just your normal pace? That's a great idea. And again, this stage is going to be the power stage later on, with 5 points on offer. But it could be completely soaked. We just don't know.
Yeah. I think there's a part of it, Andrea did push the limits a bit to understand what the tyre's doing, understand what his pace notes are. Does he need to make any adjustments? But like you mentioned, you sat at the start for longer than you hoped, so that's another complexity to add in before you get into the stage. Cold tyres is not an enjoyable experience in these cars. So Sean's pushing a little bit harder down the hill.
I think when you consider how little seat time Ocean's had in a rally car full stop, let alone this car, I think the mileage he has done has all been really strong, I think. And even though he hasn't had the feeling he's wanted with the car, he's still in the top 5 in a European Rally Championship event.
Yeah. you know, look at the broader picture there. It's certainly not where he wants to be, and we all know that. But nevertheless, it's a top 5 finish at the moment, and what he's heading for. 10.6 down on Mabellini.
Third quickest. Mabellini's had a good old push in there. Ocean with a good gap back to Mabellini. Just under a minute now with 2 stages remaining. So just got to keep it clean and tidy. See, it's so easy for me to sit here and say that.
Marshak, he'd be hoping for a strong run through here, whether he has the same approach as Andrea. Get a feel for the power stage later.
I think he has to.
Yeah,
championship
I agree.
leader.
Yeah.
He can't come out of here, out of this weekend, having only gained a few points on Andrea. With Andrea getting that 2-minute penalty, this is his chance to land a punch.
I think he would feel like he missed an opportunity if it ended like that, Pete, as well. So.
What's he pressing on the dashboard there?
With the wipers, yeah, just trying to turn them off. A bit of a distraction. Don't need them on now. The rain's probably eased. Pushing hard down the hill. Yeah, a bit of oversteer. He's had to come out of that. Yeah.
Ocean, you've been telling us for all weekend pretty much that your experience in Rally 2 machinery hasn't been that extensive over the last few months. Is the feeling just starting to kick in this morning?
No, I think we had a bit of a push with the first one, and obviously we were kind of hoping, like probably most people really, that there would be a bit more bad weather, but car isn't precise enough, so there's no point pushing in the situation we're in. We drop a bit of time, but you know, having done this stage and everything being perfect is quite annoying going through it, but at the end of the day we were expecting rain, so.
He's the only driver who wants rain, to be honest, but just with the position he's in, he knows he can probably have another advantage perhaps with a car he's not comfortable with, but and have another roll at the dice, so to speak. But
he's in a position where he's got nearly a minute in front of him to this man, William Crichton, and nearly a minute back the way. So
he's in no man's land, isn't he, Pete? So yeah, he's still frustrated. You can see that. Back to Will.
William Crichton's impressed me a lot this weekend, where clearly he's not 100% happy with the way the car is dialed in for him, and yet he's still put in such consistent times all the way through. Never really been out the top 5 in any of the stages all weekend.
Yeah, he's
pushing. Ask more.
He's pushing hard. Oh, really big oversteer moment there. The car just doesn't look settled, does it, down these bumpy, narrow sections? Really nervous. But yeah, well,
smell a podium.
Potentially, Pete. Yeah, but yeah, great time. He'd be pleased with that, but also pleased that he got away with that moment at the end.
Yeah, good sign of how much he's pushing. 2.5 seconds up then on Andrea Mabellini. Fastest through so far for Will Crichton, running with the Melvin Evans Motorsport team.
Good to hear his thoughts on that small mishap towards the end. That would have, it didn't look anything from the camera, but in the car that would have felt quite a lot. So.
Romet Jurgensen, 2nd overall, first time here in Rally Ceredigion, his 44th rally ever. We're running out of superlatives for how impressive this young man is, and he is fastest on the opening split by 0.6 of a second.
He's still pushing hard. I think really this will be one of the last rolls of the dice he will have to try and take some time out of John. It's interesting to see whether he's in the position to do it, whether he's been told just to go for it, or whether, I'm not sure what the situation would be at M Sport, but he's using all the road, carrying good speed.
Will Crichton comes into stop control, fastest through so far, but Nico Marcik, the driver he's chasing, is up on the first split. Let's see what that run was like.
You still can't get into neutral?
No, it's a great stage in there, so it is, so the guys will enjoy it.
What a gent to still give us a little bit of feedback, because he's on the previous stage had this problem where the car wouldn't go into neutral.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on, Tom?
On top of the gear lever, you've got like an electric release, which obviously disengages it from first into neutral, and that helps you get reverse. It's hard for me to say sitting here, but is it something related to that, or is it something mechanical? I'm not sure. It'd be good to have a chat with him in a bit when he gets back to service. So it could be a frantic service for the guys at Melvin Evans Motorsport if there's a transmission change required.
Service-wise, got It was 15 minutes this morning. It's 30 minutes service a day. You get a gearbox done in 30 minutes. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how these Yaris's work, but I like to think that, you know, the lads could have rather than just get that swapped over, but try and get some more information later on.
If any team can, they can. They're such a, they've been a benchmark team in the UK for a long time.
Yeah, been dominant in the British Championship. I've won an event with them in the polo on the Cambion Rally, so they know what they need to do. They know what the level's required. Marchek's pushing hard, neat and tidy through there. We'll see how he handles this section here, where we'll have a bit of a moment.
He's pushing on, isn't he? Yeah, so only lost a little bit of time. It was between 4.5K and 10K where he had that very slight moment, which we caught on our footage.
But see how much more settled the Skoda looks. The chassis just absorbing all those undulations, compressions, relative to how we saw the Toyota.
It's almost like it's been developed in the Czech Republic.
Some could say, yes.
1.5 quicker then for Miko Marchek. That just fires a return back over the net there in that enticing battle for the podium.
All eyes are on the Fords now to see what Jurgensen can do, and obviously John.
Rally leader John Armstrong looking for his first ERC win. He's had 3 podiums before, 2 so far this season. It's a big day as well for M Sport Ford, because the Blue Oval, who are the most successful manufacturer in the history of the ERC, they have not won overall for 5 years. Now John, 2.8 down on the splits here. So yeah, that's just after 4.75 kilometers.
Let's see where Romit is in terms of splits.
Miko, quickest through by 1.5 seconds, and I don't have anybody quicker on the splits. Was that a big push from you?
No, it was not a big push. It was just driving in our pace, and it was completely dry. We are on soft tires, and it was tough, I think, after 3 kilometers already to turn the car, because it's very abrasive tarmac and no rain. But okay, I was trying and doing my best to drive in a consistent way. I would say that both stages were quite similar from my side. I hope this one will be good time.
Yeah, just touching on tyres there. Marchek's on 4 softs, Romit's on 4 softs with 2 wets in the boot as well. So, and John's got 3 mediums and 1 soft on the car and 2 softs in the boot. So, yeah, the softs obviously work well. There's no denying that. Let's see what Romit can do, because he's on the same tyres as what, in terms of Marchek's on, in terms of the compounds.
Yeah, it could be that potentially John Armstrong has gone for the harder tyre that he's got with him, i.e. the mediums that he's got in his package, and then it's going to come better at the end of the stage perhaps, and not as good at the start. Let's see what Romit Jurgensen can do. He's right on the base with Marchek.
Well, like we said, same compound, getting the same feeling of grip from what he's having through the car to what Marchek's feeling as well, probably. So this end of the stage is really aggressive. The tarmac it's abrasive. It's going to work the tyre hard.
Of course, we have an open tyre formula here in the European Rally Championship. Michelin, Pirelli, Hankook and MRF all competing for the coveted tyre manufacturer trophy, which went down to the last stage last year. It was won by Michelin, but Pirelli having a good run at the moment, 1-2 in this rally, but Marchek, of course, on the Michelin. And believe me, I often am at the stop line and I see the tyre technicians. It really matters. Bit of mistake there, though, Tom, for Jurgensen.
He didn't get the car rotated round. Just it's easily done, but yeah, he needed to get a bit more rotation, which is why it almost had to back out of it.
Jurgensen's second quickest, half a second off Marchek's benchmark, as Eamon Kelly, the leader in ERC3, rolls into the stage.
That's where the fastest time would have gone there for Romit. Just that small mistake on the hairpin.
So at 10 kilometres, John Armstrong just 0.4 of a second down. having been 2.8 down at 4.7. I think he must have had a moment in that first split.
Could well have been, Pete. All the tyres, the combination he's using is on mediums. Maybe took him another kilometre or two just to really get up to temperature as well. So, let's hear from Romet.
Romet just half a second down on the fastest time of Mikko in there. What was your approach to that stage? You looked fairly rapid, certainly in the opening section anyway.
To be honest, I didn't feel so good. Just getting into the stage, I felt like I don't have the feeling to push, and there's no, let's say, real reason to do it. I know today John is probably a bit faster than me, so I don't want to risk everything, and with these soft tires, the understeer was quite crazy as well, and messed up the handbrake place too, so yeah, not the best stage. We saw.
There's a lot on Romet Jurgensen's plate today because he's leading the British Championship, which he's doing the full season of. He's part of the M Sport World Rally team, which John is as well, and they're still in with a chance of the Teams Championship in ERC. There's a lot going on in that young man's brain and a lot around him, which he's handling so well.
Maybe there's been a discussion this morning before heading out. You know, we won't know that, but different sort of body language to what we saw Romet yesterday. But look at John down here, he's pushing really hard, using all the road as much as you can. There isn't much road to use, but he's using everything. Really impressive to watch.
Up on the last split then. So those slightly harder tyres now.
The tyres are switching on, You can see it from the splits. It's been getting quicker and quicker as the stage goes on. That car's just working so well down here.
Huge amount of pressure on John Armstrong this weekend. You know, for him to get his first ERC win would be enormous. The team, of course, has been an M Sport man for a long time. There's a lot of pressure on him. 2.7
What
faster.
a stage time, considering he was 2.8 down.
We must also consider that he is not out of the championship fight. He basically needs to win the rally and the power stage and then do the same in Croatia and hope problems for others. But until you're out of it, you're not.
No, exactly. See where he tackles the hairpin. Got the car rotated nicely. Away you go. But what a great time there by John.
Hubert Kowalczyk in ERC3, still in with a shot of the ERC3 title in his Renault Clio Rally 3. The next step down on the Rally Pyramid. Still a four-wheel drive car, but quite a bit less power than one of these Rally 2 beasts that John Armstrong pulls up to the stop line now. Rally leader extends his advantage now.
So 13.8 over Romet, his teammate.
John, a very impressive 2.7 seconds quicker, but I must say you are very lucky because over my left shoulder is the biggest black cloud.
Yeah, quite lucky, I would say. It was starting to rain a little bit towards the end, nothing heavy, but obviously makes you think, like, okay, maybe there's a little slippy corner coming up. So, yeah, quite a safe run, to be honest, so if we're faster, that's good.
Normally, John is, when you speak to him at the stage end, he's in an amazing way of composing himself so quickly, but he's had a push in there. You can see just by his body language, his eyes were unstopped.
Yeah, he's very composed. He's driving, we say he's driving within himself, but he is. Like, I think he knows there's a bit more to be had in there, and he still goes quickest, and that's, to be in that position, Pete, it's such a good feeling, you know, knowing you could go a little bit harder as well and turn it up when you need to. So he's in full control at the moment.
Looks like it, yeah. Eamon Kelly leading in ERC3. Of course, had a great win in the Junior World Rally Championship in Finland.
Yeah, some place to win your class in Finland. Been there, done that. It's a great feeling. See how this Rally 3 car behaves down here.
Fantastic little package for these types of roads. It's not got as wide a footprint.
I was good to say,
Rally 2.
You can clearly see how much narrower the car was compared to the Rally 2. So, which make it just a little bit more nervous. The chassis is not as dynamic as the Rally 2 car, but nevertheless, they're still a competitive car. Great learning tool.
Well, this is where John Armstrong really plied his trade in the ERC 2 years ago, winning the ERC3 category in one of those M Sport Fiesta Rally 3s.
He was rapid in that as well, wasn't he?
So quick.
Was it the car with the orange livery? I remember that, yeah. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, him and Cammy Farah had a brilliant year.
See the brakes there, Pete, as well. Nice glow to them, pushing hard. I love hot brakes, especially at night. You see them glowing in the disc. There's nothing better.
That's why I love the Zlin, Barabchik Rally Zlin Super Special, which is really late at night and you see the glowing disc.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one. Wipers on pretty hard for Hubert Kowalczyk. He might have got a bit unlucky here.
Here's the heavens, they've opened. Wow, John's lucky there, isn't he? If it was 10 minutes a bit later, he would have been caught in this, wouldn't he? So M Sport are just playing it just right at the moment.
Eamon, a little bit unlucky with the weather towards the end, but I take it the road was still dry enough for the tyres that you're on?
Just started to heavy rain once we come onto the wide road near the start, so we did have the dampness for the majority of the stage. And we're on a kind of a cross with a medium slick and a soft slick, so only 2 slicks in the car. It was not worth taking any risks, but we were pretty steady, so yeah, look, there's no point in making a mess of it. This stage last year I was on my roof, so I'm just glad to be at the end of it.
Yeah, it's always a bonus when you get to the stage end.
Definitely, Eamon Kelly with a big lead in category, but he's and showing how capable a Rally 3 car is in the right hand. 8th overall right now.
Yeah, wow, yeah. Showing his experience a bit now as well with the car from doing the JWRC. Interesting to see this section here, even if the tarmac's quite abrasive. You're still going to get a relatively good tyre temperature still, and grip from the tyre, lateral grip.
You can hear the rain
pitter-pattering away, can't you, in the background? Yeah. I think it's good the organisers have put some anti-cut devices in there, because in the past that corner's been a big cut, but we used to go up the hill and it used to get very muddy, so I think the drivers will be thankful for that later on.
Yeah, it's a huge effort from the organisers to go around and such a big geographical area to cover, put the anti-cut poles in one after the other while the road is open as well.
Exactly, yeah, it's not an easy task.
See, they're on the front wet tyres for Kowalczyk.
I was going to say, they look like wets to me as well, so he's in safe hands. He would have been hoping for a bit more rain.
Potentially so. So it's second quickest in ERC3 then for Hubert Kowalczyk, but for him, he's got to try and get it to the finish and get some points. Go to Croatia in around 5 weeks' time to go and try and win the championship over Timek Abramovsky. I had a chance to go and actually go to the stop line on the recce and have a chat with some of the drivers. It's a beautiful location looking down over towards Aberystwyth. Let's get a chat with Hubert Kowalczyk in the ERC3s.
Hubert, 25 seconds slower than Eamon in that one. Is that just courtesy of your tyre choice?
Yeah, it works only last 4 kilometers here, so yes.
John Armstrong extends his rally lead, another stage win, his 11th of the season here in the European Rally Championship. Is he going to do it? 2 stages remain. I can imagine the nerves are jangling. So confirming then, your stage winner, John Armstrong, by 2.7 seconds from Mikko Marcik, with Romet Jurgensen third quickest, 3.2 seconds off the pace. Will Crichton in 4th, and Andrea Mabellini rounding out the top 5. And all of those top drivers getting through before the rain came on, which I think they'll be very pleased of indeed. Unless your name's Oisin Price, who came through 7th quickest. He was hoping for the rain. John Armstrong, M Sport, Ford lead the way. 1-2 at the moment with Romet Jurgensen in 2nd place. 2 stages remain. Will it be dry Will it be wet? Will it be something in between? Lots of questions still remaining then. Armstrong leading by 13.8 seconds at lunchtime service. Miko Marchik holding on to a spot on the podium. Be sure to join us this afternoon. But it's goodbye for now.